And we take and we make our mistakes and hey, friends, you didn't think Hamilton Day was done, did you? No. Just because we finished with the main story, there is still a whole world of Hamilton that we have to get into, including some of the cut songs. And if you were following the community tab, you know what we're checking out today. It is the cut song from Hamilton, First Burn. Welcome back, friends, and a special welcome to all the new friends out there. I'm YoBGS. And yeah, this is just a little taste of some of the extra Hamilton content I've been wanting to delve into. We still have Weird Al. We still have other cut songs to get into. Hamilton in 7 minutes. So many things that I want to check out. And by the way, I think I'm going to leave those up to a poll, so make sure to subscribe if you want to have a say in what kind of content this channel does next, including what other musicals we may be taking a look at. Now, I do need to say this before we get into it. I've got a little cheat sheet off to the side. I've got First Burn, and I've got the regular Burn lyrics, because I want to be able to see what some of the differences are in the two songs. Just from seeing some of the differences off the top of my head, it takes a completely different tone, even though the words are the same, just a lot of them are in a different order. And there are some cut words as well. But without further ado, you know this better than I do. Let's get right into First Burn. The melody's so good too. You're gonna hear more about this coming up in a little bit, but there are so many parts of this that I have to talk over, because if I don't, YouTube blocked the video. I actually had to re-upload this, I would say probably a dozen times. Same between the two. I thought you were mine. And by the way, omega props, all the props in the world to the people who can get into this level of character in a studio. Because if you think about it, in the course of a musical, you'd start to feel those emotions that your character feels, but to go into a studio and record this cold, like, how do you get behind a mic and then it's like, all right, heartbroken in 3, 2, 1, and go? To me, that would be almost harder than memorizing it for the musical, even though you can have, like, the lyrics in front of you. Do you know what Angelica said? Hey, friends, you're gonna see this in a couple spots. I have to do voiceover here because they keep blocking the video. Now, I'm doing it here just because this is a part that's pretty similar to the original song. You're gonna hear me talk about it in a second. I'm really sorry, but I want to get this video out, and it's what I have to do. Okay, so this is not just Eliza. This is a lot of the women from the cast of, I'm assuming, the Hamilton soundtrack. And also, I love how here it goes into almost like a Halsey kind of vibe. Like, so we get Don't Take Another Step in My Direction, whereas the original, or the one that made it, is You and Your Words Flooded My Senses. So you already get this sense of, like, Eliza taking way more agency in First Burn. Like, stay there. Whereas in the Burn that made it into the musical, we get a lot of, you did this. You. Again, it's more Hamilton-centric. And maybe that's to sort of continue the belief that it's more about Alexander than Eliza. Think you can talk your way into my arms, into my arms. I'm burning the letters you wrote me. You can stand over there if you want. I don't know who you are. I have so much to learn. I'm rereading your letters and watching them burn. I love it. It's so good. Okay, so again, another key difference there. I'm burning the letters you wrote me. Although the I don't know who you are makes it sound like she's telling this part to Maria, not necessarily telling this part to Alexander. Although I guess in hindsight, she could be saying it metaphorically. Like, I don't know who you are. You're not the man I married. The man I married would never do this. But in Burn, we get, I'm rereading the letters you wrote me, searching and scanning for answers in every line for some kind of sign. And this one is just like, I mean, she gets into that, but we get the reveal early on where she's like, no, make no mistake, I'm burning this down but I'm going to do this for me, rereading them.
I'm watching them burn. You published the letter she wrote to you.
Hey, what's up? Editing Yo here. I have to put this part in because they tried to block this video everywhere, so if you get a couple voiceovers, that's going to be why.
You told the whole world how you brought this girl into our bed. In clearing your name, you have ruined our lives.
All these voices are incredible.
Heaven forbid someone whisper he's part of some scheme.
I love that she points out, by the way, just how minute the accusations against Hamilton were, even though, like, the alternative was destroying his family.
Your enemy whispers, so you have to scream. I know about whispers. I see how you look at my sister.
So there, okay, another key difference there. This is where we get the secondary part where you publish the letter she wrote you. That's all the same. Then in regular Burn, it cuts to, do you know what Angelica said? The Icarus line we get at the beginning. But here, it shows that Eliza is, I'm trying to think of the good way to put this. Like, Eliza's character is, pointing out that he has such a childish mentality, like such a combative nature, and points out that, like, if she wanted to be so combative, she has enemies too. She hears the people whispering in the street. She also kind of can tell what, he's been looking at Angelica. So highlighting the contrast between the two of them. And then in the original song, see, I love these don't parts, right? The don't and the stop is so strong that it's really cool to perceive that in the context of the musical, whereas it's a lot softer. The version we got is a lot softer. See, and even in the original Burn, you and your words, obsessed with your legacy, your sentences border on senseless. It almost makes him out to be crazy. Whereas in this one, it's very clear that she has his intent pegged a little bit better.
I'm not naive. I have seen women around you. Don't think I don't see how they fall for your charms.
Is it really Hamilton's charm or just the fact that he was such an amazing lawyer? Like, he can argue his way out of anything, so he would obviously be able to pick some people up.
All your charms. I'm erasing myself from the narrative. Let future history
That round.
just wonder how Eliza reacted when you broke her heart.
And it is super interesting to me that here, too, she's even thinking about, like, how people are going to remember her story. So the end wasn't the first time that they brought up the idea of Eliza being the main character.
You have thrown it all away, stand back, watch it burn.
Interesting. Another really interesting comparison. So we have the don't part that is all new, where again, Eliza is a much more active character in her own narrative in First Burn. I'm sorry, I should have put the camera over here because I'm looking at my side-by-sides. But it's very deliberate that you've thrown it all away. Oh man, I had a good thought and I lost it. Future historians wonder how Eliza reacted when you broke her heart. You've thrown it all away, and then this time, or in regular Burn, he says you've torn it all apart. Which, I don't know, given how deliberate everything is that Lin-Manuel Miranda put in, and then the stand back and watch it burn makes it seem... Okay, so I guess that would be the one key difference. This was originally supposed to be performed in front of him. I know, you hit me over the head with that 7 more times. Maybe I'll realize the obvious. But it definitely sounds like he was supposed to be there. And that's why she's so much more confrontational. And in the version we get where she's just kind of out on her own doing her own thing, it's way more, the language is way looser, right? It's way more abstract. Hey friends, I know again it stinks to have to cut in here, but I do because this got blocked the second time I uploaded it because I let this part play out. So, hi.
Just watch it all burn.
And they're just crushing it. If you can believe it, they want me to talk over this part as well. So again, I'm sorry the flow is so broken up, but there's literally nothing I can do without getting this video blocked.
And when the time comes, explain to the children the pain and embarrassment you put their mother through.
Everybody went ham on this, from like the bassist to the singers. You have to love it. It's so good.
When will you learn that they are your legacy? We are your legacy. If you thought you were mine.
Oh, and for no reason that has anything to do with copy blocking whatsoever, I just want to point out how amazing the artists are here. Beautiful! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! You, instead of First Burn, they should have called that Don't. Okay. So good. That whole crescendo ending is incredible. And I love how much this one focuses on a lot of the themes that are central. Maybe that's why he took it out, because it almost clobbers you over the head with some of the themes of Hamilton in a way that they do a lot more subtly. But, you know, when will you learn that they are your legacy, not government? We are your legacy, not government. And then if you thought you were mine, don't. Is such a beautiful line. That's so good. It's so powerful. And it makes, I don't know. It's so, for everything Eliza goes through in the musical, that moment, I would put that up there against the very end when she finds out that they're telling her story as like the most powerful moment for her. Compared with the end of regular Burn, which is, I hope that you burn. You know, you forfeit the memories. You forfeit the place in our bed. It's that passive voice where she's there, but the actions are being done around her. In First Burn, she's like, no, I'm putting a stop to this mess right now. And then again, the I hope that you burn is very interesting, knowing what we know is going to happen in the rest of the musical. So, as far as a better, I don't know. I can see why Lin-Manuel Miranda said that it's a banger. That's for darn sure. This is, I don't know. I'm a big fan of like cut content in general, but normally it's a lot less polished than this. This is incredible. And I like it for Eliza. I'll say that. It would be very interesting to hear this in the context of Hamilton. Like if you were just able to take out Burn, replace it with First Burn, watch the whole thing through and see if it changed your impressions. But again, I think for Eliza, this is like a huge step up. And there was another part that I recognized where she's like, oh, I know about whispers. That's the other line I wanted to go back to, because remember, she was a child of privilege marrying an up-and-comer, but who was an orphan, who was an immigrant, who was a lot of things that would get you looked down upon, you know, because class mobility really wasn't a lot of a thing back then. So, yeah, she knows about people kind of criticizing, and her approach to conflict much different than his. But this video is getting a little bit long. I'm getting a little bit rambly. I loved this. Oh my goodness, this turned my whole day around, friends, and I hope it did the same for you. If it did, please make sure to subscribe. That would mean a lot to me, especially because we've got a lot coming up in the future. Take care, as always, my friends, and I will see you the next time we burn.